G'day everybody. Got a few comments now just wanting people to do me a walk around on the Corolla, so I thought I'd jump in and give you guys a little quick look and quick peek on what's going on. I plan to do a few videos in the future of how I got the computer working, in terms of turboing it and whatnot, running 8 pound on just a 1-bar map sensor. It's pretty out there. Not a lot of people agree with how I'm doing it, but figured I'd jump in and show you what the gist of it is and what I've done to the car so far since I've owned it. I've had it for about 5 years. Brought it in Central Australia and I'm now in Queensland, so I've driven it a fair while and for a long while on an unopened motor, which is pretty nice. The first time I turboed it, it actually blew up, which is pretty funny. I had a T04E with a scavenged oil pump for the turbo because it was a low mount, and I actually had this bad boy on here. It's not too bad. It's a T04E. It's still good, like it spins, but yeah, I had to have this crappy little adapter made for the manifold that I'm running, which is a T25, and that's a T3 turbo, so it didn't really fit, and it was way too big for where I was trying to fit it. So yeah, I had to run a scavenge pump for the turbo then, which is this bad boy, and it's just a marine diesel pump, 12 volt, and that was constant powered while the car was running, and bloody noisy thing it was. So I buggered that off. So I buggered that off, and I'll pick myself up a GD2860. It's a WGT, so it's not, you know, a Garrett, but spools up pretty good, and it's a bit smaller, and it's a T2 back housing, so it bolts straight to the manifold. Yeah, we'll get into it and I'll show you a bit more of the car, eh? Alright, so here she is. Let's lock it up. So the custom floor mats, which is pretty norm. We've got the Boss kit, which I scored from Super Cheap. It cost me about $60. Overall, I haven't really spent too much on the car. It's probably only cost me about $1,500 in accessories, including the turbo kit, which I'll elaborate on a bit later on. But yeah, so we got the coolant temp and oil pressure. So you got coolant temp here, and then oil pressure comes up around there. Boost gauge, wideband, and just a tacho, because if you look down there in the cluster, I'll go that way, no bloody tacho. So yeah, had to wire one of them in, which is, you know, fun. Other than that, it's tinted. I tinted it, sprayed the whole interior black with the black dye, which I thought actually come up pretty good. And then I done the red, cherry red on the accents there, just to give it a bit of a pop. But overall, it's pretty clean. And down here, just got some bolt-on aftermarket pedals. They bolt straight over the top. And if you sneak there, I got the ECU tuner, which is how I'm running my NA computer, which I will elaborate on later in another video for you. Yeah, interior. So as you can see, that's the wrap. What else have I got to it? I picked up this wing for $120 off Marketplace. I thought it was a bloody bargain. Coilovers, you know, just your eBay spec coils. There you go. They were $400 for a set, but I only put the rear in because I didn't want to lose the drivability of the car. So I've just put the rear in and left the front stock, so that way it's nice to drive because it's front wheel drive. So there you go. So just the stock fronties, and just some cheap alloy lights from, I got these with the car when I brought it. They cost me $250, which is not too bad. And what else we got? So yeah, all up, I haven't really spent much on the car. I paid $200 for the car, which was a bargain. It cost me, yeah, $200 in Alice Springs, which is Central Australia. I drove it, well, back and forth to Darwin, probably 5 to 6 times, which is 1500k a trip. Handled those trips no problem, and then I drove it to Queensland when I moved to Queensland, which is a 3,000 kilometre trip, sitting on about $1.40 the whole way, no dramas, and I used $500 gas, which is bloody winning. And then yeah, since I've been here in Queensland, I've turboed it. I brought the intercooler kit for $200 off eBay. The turbo for $199, which is that bad boy down there. The manifold cost me $120, which was probably the longest thing I had to wait on. It came from the States, CX Racing, I believe it was. Yeah, 120, no, 160 bucks, not 120 bucks, my bad. And yeah, pretty good actually. So that, and oh, give me 2 seconds. Yeah, and I've also had a front sway bar conversion on it as well. I've done that myself. I picked the front sway bar up. Oh, I can't even remember what I paid for the bloody thing on Facebook. Marketplace score, straight swap. It came from a Levin, just same cross member, direct bolt in. That was pretty simple. I'll snip some clips of that in the next one for you so you guys can have a look. Yeah, the manifold cost me 160 bucks from CX Racing, I think it was, in the States, which was the longest thing I had to wait for actually. That and the ECU itself, which came from Poland. But the manifold took 3 months to come in from the States, which is a bit of a pain in the butt, but it is what it is, you know. One can only wait. So yeah, then I got the ECU from Poland, so ECUmaster, that's who's got it. It's a det3 digital ECU tuner 3 plus, so it comes with a 3-bar map sensor built in, all your analogs and whatnot. You just can't drive injectors if you choose to use it with your standard ECU with the car, which I'm doing at the moment, which is no dramas, just, you know, Toyotas being Toyotas. I've nicked some injectors out of a 3VZ, which is a V6 I believe it is, a Toyota Camry, and chuck them in and they go and go. So yeah, what else have I done really? Catch can, that was 20 bucks off eBay. Blow off valve, that came with the intercooler kit, which was a bargain. They mucked me around a bit with shipping, so I ended up scoring a G-Ready blow off valve, which was pretty mad. Yeah, other than that, I built the exhaust myself, so that wasn't too much of a problem. Yeah, built the exhaust, done the tune myself. You know, the program comes with the ECU, so it's all self-explanatory there if you read the manual all the way through. Gauges, just generic stuff, you know, $30–40 a pop. So all in all, I've probably only got $1,500 in the car, which I'm bloody stoked about. But yeah, I've got lots to show. I'd enjoy it if you guys come along for the ride, you know. I've done a lot to it and I plan on doing a lot more. I've got, here I'll show you this actually, I'll give you a little sneak peek. So the first time I blew it up was the first time I didn't have, big enough injectors. I was running stock injectors, hence why I went to 3VZ ones. I ended up melting through piston number 3, which is ironic really, because 3 always goes, doesn't it? Yeah, so we got, I don't know if you'll be able to see it here, I'll take yours out to the sunlight, 2 seconds. If you, I'll take, so here's the piston, you can clearly see it's melted. Oh yeah, there you go. It's a little bit of a sunlight through it there. There we are. So I melted that. I did that about 20k away from home too, which is a bit of a pain in the butt. Managed to drive the car home on 3 cylinders, which was a score. I grabbed a $200 short block from the wreckers and rebuilt it that weekend, which was pretty nice. But yeah, I've got another head here as well. I'm just in the middle of cleaning it up. You can't really tell at the moment, but I've cleaned all the burrs off the edges. I've ported the intake side, not the exhaust side yet. Yeah, so that's going to go on, and then I've also got some studs as well, some ARP studs. Bad boys are hiding in there. and they'll be the next project. So yeah, be sure to chuck us a comment below, a like and a sub if you want to see some more content. Cheers guys, have a good one, bye.